Hello everyone and welcome to Performance Max and the Google Ads API. My name is Devin Chasanoff and I'm so excited to be here today. I'm excited because of the incredible content in store for you and for the opportunity to connect with all of you in the forums. I'm excited knowing that you're going to walk away from this workshop with the tools you need to integrate with PMax. Most importantly, the introduction of Performance Max is one of the most exciting developments I've seen since joining the Google Ads team more than 5 years ago. I know everyone was busy counting how many times AI was mentioned during our earnings calls and at Google Marketing Live. But did anyone count how many times PMax was mentioned? I didn't, but I know it was a lot. And that's not surprising at all, considering Performance Max brings together the best of Google AI solutions specifically for advertising. Performance Max, for those of you who aren't as familiar, is a new campaign type you can use to access all Google Ads channels and inventory from a single unified campaign. Google AI optimizes performance by automatically creating and serving ads to accomplish your business objectives and drive more conversions at the strongest ROI from your budget. Put in far simpler terms, drive your business goals with less time and effort. Let's break down a few things you'd no longer have to do with PMax. Create multiple campaigns for each advertising channel. Guess which asset combinations will perform best in each ad and channel. Use those guesses to create multiple ads within each campaign. And finally, tinker with your ad placements, audience targeting, and budgets to achieve the highest ROI across all of these campaigns and ads. Performance Max uses Google AI to supercharge every aspect of digital advertising to make it work more effectively for your business. With Performance Max, you specify what you want to achieve, what you want to spend, and what assets to use. And Google AI helps you drive the strongest results across all of Google's advertising channels and inventory. That is admittedly a simplification because PMax still gives you a ton of levers and controls to ensure brand safety, advanced targeting, and more. But that really is the main idea of PMax. If you're here today, these efficiency gains probably mean a lot to you. For major brands, marketplaces, third-party platforms, and agencies, workflow automation is the name of the game. Today, we're going to share how you can use the Google Ads API to get the most out of PMax at scale. Whether you're a developer, a product manager, or a technical team lead, you'll walk away from today's workshop with a clear understanding of what Performance Max is, how it works in the API, best practices for setting up your integration, and much, much more. We'll be approaching PMax and the Google Ads API from several different vantage points, and my hope is that these sessions combine to demonstrate what I like to refer to as the art of the possible when working with these powerful technologies. In a few minutes, I'll run through workshop logistics and all of the amazing sessions we have planned for you today. Before I go any further, I'd like to introduce you to a special guest. Please welcome Carolyn Chow, the product manager for Performance Max.
Amazing. Thanks, Devin. Hey, everyone. I'm Carolyn, and I'm so excited to be with you all today. I've been a product manager working on PMax since it became generally available a little over 2.5 years ago now, and it's been truly an incredible journey to see how the product has grown, and even more so to learn about how you all are using it, and more importantly, how we can make it even better. So, when we first launched PMax, we had the opportunity to really think traditional ad tech controls and reporting. We honestly started pretty conservatively with a limited set of inputs and reporting. And we really wanted to focus first on getting the baseline functionality of the product right, which was delivering on the performance part of Performance Max. But over the past 2.5 years, based off of feedback from users like you, we've added a lot of new functionality. I remember in the first year personally launching placement reporting and exclusions so you could make sure we were adhering to your brand safety requirements, which are ultimately non-negotiables. I also remember launching asset group scheduling so you could plan in advance for key periods like the holidays. And then the team launched new customer acquisition goals so you could more accurately represent your business goals. Then in year 2, I also remember launching asset group reporting, which took us a while, but we did that so you could understand which asset groups were doing well and where to invest in future creatives. We launched brand exclusions so you could route traffic away from PMax if necessary, and also page feeds so you can control targeting on the right set of your products and services. And then in the last 6 months, hopefully you saw at GML, we've been working really hard to bring you more creative tools and controls with Gen AI. We're adding new testing capabilities to prove the value of PMax for yourself, and even more reporting and insights. I've spent the last 2 years speaking to a lot of different customers, and the thing that's kind of the common thread across those 2.5 years have been kind of two things. One is that they ultimately love the performance. But the second piece is that they really want to understand what's going on behind the scenes. And you heard it from me, like, we hear you. I've heard this for the past 2.5 years, and we're really working on this. And hopefully the steady stream of features that I just mentioned gives you confidence that we are learning from you all, listening, and working on new features to be able to kind of meet your needs. On our end, I'm really excited to say that we have been delivering on the performance part of Performance Max. We've seen that beyond retail, advertisers who adopt PMax have seen an average increase of 27% more conversions or value at a similar CPA or ROAS, and this is even when they already use broad match and smart bidding in their search campaigns. So while we're constantly working to make the product more powerful and easy to use, we want to make sure we're giving you the controls over your brands and non-negotiables. None of these improvements, honestly, would be possible without you, and your feedback is really, really valuable to helping us build and adjust our roadmaps. I'm really looking forward to learning more from you all today.
Thank you, Carolyn. As you can probably tell by now, we're really excited to bring this workshop to you. Not only because of all of the great content, but also because of the opportunity to connect with you all, which is a great segue into some workshop logistics. If you haven't already noticed, there's a forum on this session's watch page, which you can find in sessions throughout the day. Feel free to chime in with questions, comments, or just to say hello. Our team is standing by to answer your questions, and we love receiving your honest, constructive feedback. We spend a lot of time trying to optimize your developer experience, and the more input we get from you, the better we can do. We'll keep most sessions open following the session content to field any additional questions you may have. Once that period has concluded, you should automatically be redirected to the next session in the agenda. I want to call your attention to the survey on the right side of your screen. As if I hadn't made this point clear enough, your input is incredibly valuable, and you have a say in your own developer experience. We'll have surveys like the one you see now for each session. We'd appreciate it if you filled them all out. But the two most important surveys are the pre- and post-event surveys. You can find the pre-event survey listed in the resources for this session which is right below the video screen. If you filled this out prior to today, there's no need to fill it out again. In the closing session and in a follow-up email, we'll share a post-event survey. Your responses let us know whether we should do more events like this, and if so, how we can make them better. With that out of the way, let's take a look at all of the incredible content we have coming your way. We've structured the day in such a way that the content builds upon itself. Some of the content from earlier sessions may be beneficial for later sessions depending on your familiarity with PMax and the Google Ads API coming into today's workshop. Following this welcome keynote session, Ian Ballantyne will be presenting a comprehensive PMax product tour for developers. Although the session title includes for developers, this session will be useful for technical and non-technical folks alike, as Ian will connect concepts in the UI to those in the API. This is a great session to familiarize yourself with PMax concepts through the lens of a developer. You're fortunate enough to be getting a double dose of Ian because he is going to expand upon the concepts in the PMax product tour in the context of specific business goals in this session. Achieve your business goals with Performance Max. PMax is a goal-oriented campaign type, and you can configure your campaign to optimize for specific business objectives. In this session, Ian will walk you through the various types of goals PMax supports, like driving online sales, generating leads, or acquiring new customers, and how to set up your campaign for each one. After that, I'll be back to present everything about asset groups, or I should say, everything about asset groups that we could cover in an hour. In my mind, asset groups are at the core of PMax campaigns. I said earlier that with PMax, you don't need to create individual ads. Instead, you use asset groups to provide Google with the assets and targeting information to create and serve ads. Consider this your crash course in asset groups from the developer perspective, and my best attempt at transferring everything I know about asset groups to you. We'll take a short break following the asset group section so you can grab some food and tell all your friends what an awesome time you're having at the workshop. Following the break, Laura Chevalier will be presenting a session I'm sure many of you are looking forward to. Performance Max reporting in depth. As I've said several times, you no longer need to create individual ads or even campaigns for different advertising channels because PMax automates that for you. However, that also has implications on how you report on PMax campaigns. In this session, Laura will help you understand how to approach this paradigm shift using the Google Ads API with examples that highlight real-world use cases. Next up, Mattia Tomasone, who you may recognize from our release videos, will be delivering a session on best practices, optimization, and troubleshooting. Although Mattia is always a tough act to follow, I'll be presenting the next session, Design a Custom Performance Max Pipeline. As a developer relations engineer, I have to ask myself, if I were in the shoes of a Google Ads developer building a PMax integration, how would I approach setting up my infrastructure? Well, in this session, I'll walk you through my approach to creating a custom PMax interface and campaign management pipeline. By the end of this session, you'll know how to use a simple JSON file to easily create Performance Max campaigns with the Google Ads API at scale. You'll also learn how to perform client-side validation, configure custom settings, automatically fix errors, and much, much more. Our last session before the closing is Performance Max and AI, a conversation with Google experts. Bob Hancock will lead a panel of Google experts to share real-life examples and case studies from customers that have derived the most benefit from PMax. Generative AI used for creating text and images has been all over the news, but there are a lot of other use cases for AI. We'll discuss how AI can benefit your campaigns, whether you use the UI or the API. Finally, we'll recap everything we learned, discuss next steps, and share some resources before saying goodbye in our closing session. I hope you all enjoy the great content we have in store for you, and we look forward to hearing from you in the forums. With that, I'll hand it over to Ian for your next session, a Performance Max product tour for developers.